That waiting for the gun, the nerves are just too much, thinking about what is about to go down.
And there goes the horn to start the race.
No, I think it's really amazing. And now the whole setup and people are dressed up.
We're giving something, I think, to the people. It's just fantastic.
The support on the side of the road is second to none, and that gives you the extra oomph.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is beyond what I could imagine. I seriously enjoyed it. I met so many wonderful people on the way.
Really enjoying Cape Town. People seem to really appreciate artwork here, which is really nice.
Come and visit Cape Town. We are waiting for you with open arms. We welcome you here. It will remain a city of hope and opportunity for everyone, not just in Cape Town, but around the country and the world.
And he takes the tape.
Cape Town is open, safe and ready to host you.
Beautiful renditions of the Dutch and German anthems as we get ready and get set for another scintillating final. And if ever you've seen the Dutch take on the Germans on a hockey field, you'll know just how much passion there is between these sides, just how much of a rivalry it is on a hockey field between the Netherlands and Germany. And that rivalry is set to continue for this, the men's over 50 division final. It is Germany taking on the Netherlands.
So final preparations for these two teams. Tariq, you're quite right. Such a rivalry between these two nations. Proud nations in hockey. Man to look out for is the captain from the Netherlands, Anton Maas. And he just seems to be a goal machine. I want to know where he was in the 90s. Who was keeping him out the Dutch side? Was it Tuchel van der Hornet? Could be. Stefan Veen? Rumco van Veek? Those are the guys I remember playing against for the Dutch side. But Anton Maas, he's come to this World Cup and he's just scored some unbelievable goals. Gets himself into amazing space, finishes beautifully. It's been a treat to watch him. Got a good crowd in here in Hartleyvale, good atmosphere. Slight breeze, the southeaster. But it's nice, warm conditions. It's just not too hot. So the perfect conditions for a final. So this Hartleyvale Stadium was built for 1995 Olympic qualifiers. South Africa were trying to do a bid for the Olympic Games for 2004. So they hosted the 1995 Olympic qualifiers. And this is when this Hartleyvale, this impressive Hartleyvale Stadium was built. So the Dutch are going to be in their familiar orange outfits, playing from right to left, and the Germans in their white and black from left to right on your screens.
It has been fantastic hockey throughout the tournament, and it is now all or nothing. Which way will the trophy go? Who will walk home with gold medals around their neck? Will it be draped in orange or black and white as the first quarter gets underway? Netherlands, as they have pretty much done throughout the week, happy to keep the ball at the back. Happy for their link line to do plenty of work. Now come down left-hand side. Dane beats the first defender, smashes it across and straight into the goal. No touch from a fellow teammate. Coming away with it will be Germany on the 16-yard.
I watched Dane play a few days ago, and he was really good. He's a rangy player, and he gets himself into such good positions, and he's full of running as well, and someone to watch up front. He's dangerous. You don't really notice him. He gets into these lovely little spaces, and he's able to go forward with the ball and create chances for Holland. Of course, he partners up with his captain, Anton Maas. As I said earlier, the goal-scoring machine in this tournament. Germany go high and over the top. It's well dealt with by the Holland, who come on the inside run through Dane Dom, and he looks for Maas up high. So, the good platforms now set for the Germans. Two players form the base, the two high halves, either side, left and right. The Dutch just going to a three-quarter press, as do the Germans when the Dutch have the ball on the back platform. So the ball carried into those areas. Dane Dam just almost steals the ball from Haas. Haas restarts. Brenneke. Skopper down the line. Nolter. So, in go the Germans to the baseline. The ball comes back. And it's a 16-yard hit. A nice little 1-2 at the top of the D, down to the baseline and back on the perpendicular ball.
Now, this is probably what we're going to find for lengthy periods of this game, Murray. I guess both sides, obviously early doors, trying to feel each other out, but there will be opportunities early. It is just going to depend on who can take an early opportunity, who can wrestle the momentum in the early stages. And perhaps the longer this game drags on with a little bit between it, perhaps we get to see the extra bit of passion from both of these teams. We'll call it passion for now.
Yeah,
but,
so a measured start. Both sides just getting stick on ball and making passes, and Like the way the Dutch move their high-line strikers into those midfield areas, create space. But this is a good wide ball for Kloener. Kloener gets it to the top of the D. The hit comes in looking for the far post. The touch comes in then. But they just can't find a man on the penalty spot. The game goes on. Remmers. Nolte is down. He's taken a stick to the head. And the umpire hasn't stopped the game. A minute there's a head injury that should have maybe just blown time. Nolte just taken a glance. Seems okay. There's no blood.
Also, the medical staff will get to him as quickly as they can and ensure that they do deal with it. It does seem as though Murray, just as he lifted his head, as Nolte lifted his head, it does seem as though there's a bit of trickle of blood on the side.
There's
just
some
above
blood.
the ear.
So he may need a stitch or two. Medics are tending to him. It was almost a glancing blow rather than a full-blooded blow. But he seems okay. Probably get a bit of steri strip on that and be back on in a flash.
Oh, just perhaps pop a Panado or two, a little headache tablet. Probably going to feel the effects of that later on once the adrenaline has worn off and the body cools down.
The Maas gives the ball back to Germany in sporting fashion. And it's dispossessed. Daendam on that reach gets into the faces of that German back four. As I said, he's rangy with that reach. He just does well to ghost into space again and get the cross in. Almost looks effortless as he moves into space, wins ball. He gets it now on the little tip in, off the crossbar. Oh, and Maas hits the side netting on the rebound.
I nearly thought that Wenzel got a save while he was laying prone on the ground. But a good enterprising play from the Netherlands. Versteeg getting the ball into Daendam. Needs a little touch. Good work from Maas to get himself into a position to try and get the shot off. And at least on this occasion, doesn't have the radar locked in just yet. And throughout this tournament, we've seen his radar has been locked full on. He doesn't miss, or he rarely misses an opportunity.
Well, it was an acute angle from the byline. So now, long corner, or is it a hit outside the D? Umpire says long corner. Germany, they look to go wide. A good little run on the inside, looking for the far post. It's intercepted, and Germany retain possession. A nice little run by Heitbrink. Out wide to Brennecke. Brennecke on the diagonal ball. Fired in again. Rebound work. No infringement from Holland, and they look to break out through Maas. The restart will come from Mark Watson. Plays to Brennecke. He goes himself on the inside pull and then looks to try and connect with Mark Watson, but he wins the hit for Germany. Mark Watson. Brennecke. Brennecke with the smash. The turn comes in. Nothing comes of that, and Daendam back on the defense. Does good work for Holland to win possession.
Dare we say it, Murray, that this game will be won or lost by, or at least will be won by the team who is more organized in defense. Because, with both of these teams attack-minded, got to ensure that they are quite steady in defense and have themselves aligned as the ball popped through for Daendam, although he does get a bit of a shove in the back from Rudloff. Dane probably wanting a little bit more.
Well,
than
sorry,
that.
you know, I think I've never seen a Dutch side or a German side that hasn't been well organized on defense. So, you know, this is a heavyweight battle here between two sides that'll be well coached, well organized, technically astute, technically gifted, if you could say. Each of these players can play hockey and know the game well. So, you know, it's going to come down to corner routines, to both sides can score. They've got players of excellent ability. So this is really a tight one to call. I've seen both sides play, and I would probably have it going into this game. If you had to say who would you back to win this game, I would think the Dutch, but it's by margins really. It really is hard to call. The Germans have this ability to score, to work their way, to keep themselves in games, dangerous in those high-lying areas. So the ball is lost, and the Dutch will have restart just inside German territory. Mark Watson. The long smash, and up. German keeper keeps the ball in. Wenzel on the slide there and just keeps it alive. It was interesting.
Murray, you mentioned how close things are. I've just had a look at previous games played between these nations in the over 50 division. And back in 2015, it was Germany that came away with a 5-1 victory. They followed that up in 2017 with a 3-2 victory over the Netherlands, both of them in the semi-final stages. And then in 2019, the pool game between the sides ended in a 1-1 draw. Followed up in 2019 in a final, so it's a repeat basically of the 2019 final. Regulation time, 2-2. Germany winning a 3-2 on a shootout. So if you want to talk about how close these nations are, those results should tell you exactly what you need to know.
As I said, it's too close to call. I have been impressed by the goal-scoring ability of Anton Maas and the rangy running of Dane Dam. They could just be the difference in a tight game like that. And they do something extra special. You need those players in a final that can just turn the game on its head and take that 1 or 2 opportunities that come their way.
The other thing to note is that in the top 5 goal scorers for this division, we've got 2 Dutch players and 2 Germans. It is your man Maas that leads the way with 17 goals in the tournament. Phenomenal in itself.
Incredible.
Merkens has got 10. And then Carsten Eimer for Germany's got 9, so he's pretty close in there with Merkens. And then Dirk Heidenbrink has got 8. So they are prolific goal scorers in both of these sides.
So Maas in behind, goes for the far post, and it's a combination between Maas and Martin Daendam. And what a lovely long ball. They go straight to the number 5. I think it was Nook who played the ball down the line. Finds Anton Maas, the captain, who just threads the ball down there to Daendam, who puts the tip in away.
Yeah, fantastic work from Daendam, filling in those critical areas, but equally good work from the captain Maas, who found himself in a bit of space, brought the ball down nicely from that overhead, and then got his eyes up very early, identified that Daendam was making the lead into the far post like any right-sided striker will do, when the ball's on the left-hand side. Got his eyes up, did Maas. Good ball across, splitting the goalkeeper and the defender. Just out of the reach of the keeper, just out of the reach of the defender. And then Dayndam, that lanky figure with his extra long arms, gets the touch in on the far post, and it's goal time for the Netherlands.
Well, it's classic Netherlands play. They just love a tip-in, don't they?
Oh,
It's
no,
all they
100%.
talk about in training. Get your men on the left-hand post, on the right-hand post. There's no ways, there's no need often to shoot. You just go wide of the keeper and tip it in. Simple hockey, but textbook hockey.
If the knuckles on your left hand is not bleeding at the end of a training session, you weren't low enough.
Quite right. So Marquison, who tries to feed through to Eimer. Eimer, a dangerous player for Germany as well. So we are just about 3 minutes out from the end of this first quarter. First blood drawn by the Dutch. A fair amount of even possession. Just feel that the Dutch have sort of upped the ante in the last 5 minutes, just from structured possession. The ball lost in the midfield, and it's Marquardson who comes back strongly, who finds Zuluf Hennersdorf. He just can't find the target.
It's a good breakaway from Germany, showing just how dangerous they can be on the counter-attack. Fortunately for Zuluf Hennersdorf, just missing the target. Although, got to give credit to the goalkeeper Seybrink for having his angles covered. As the long ball now, as Dayndam stretches those arms again, keeps the ball in play, and unfortunately lifts it a little bit too much. And Germany will come away with it.
What I loved about that German counter is that when they won the ball, they came at such speed. The interplay, the connections is just done 1-2 very quickly. The shot comes in. So they are very quick to pounce. There's nothing pedestrian about them when they get into that final 23-meter area, that final quarter of Dutch defensive zone.
What is fantastic to see, Murray, that I've picked up throughout the tournament, is that you can identify a style of play from these sort of nations. If you look at the internationals, the peak athletes, those that are in the peak of their performances, playing at the Olympics, playing at the FIH Pro League, you look at their style of play and you compare it to what we see here in this Masters World Cup. It is a carbon copy, and it just shows you that the structures that both Germany and the Netherlands have back home, it's there from juniors all the way up to Masters.
Most definitely. Their 6-year-olds been coached to play this way. And they will carry that all the way through their careers. And that's so wonderful about Dutch-German hockey, is that they have a structure that's just put in place from a very, very young age. South Africa, we know how the players up north play, we know how the players in KZN play, we know how inland play, we know how Eastern Province, Western Province. We just often don't have that sort of common thread. It binds us together in a South African style. But when you are a small country like the Holland, you can actually just instill that.
So just a few seconds to go in the opening quarter. And perhaps Holland just deciding to hold on to it a bit, force Germany to move out of their defensive lines. That's a good step through from Kloner, beating Kruithof to the ball. However, the horn blows to signal the end of the opening quarter. And it is the Dutch that head into the break with a slender 1-0 lead, thanks to the goal from Dayndam.
That waiting for the gun, the nerves are just too much.
No, I think it's really amazing. And now the whole setup and people are dressed up.
We're giving something, I think, to the people is just fantastic.
The support on the side of the road is second to none, and that gives you the extra oomph.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is beyond what I could imagine. I seriously enjoyed it. I met so many wonderful people on the way.
Really enjoying Cape Town. People seem to really appreciate artwork here, which is really nice.
Come and visit Cape Town. We are waiting for you with open arms. We welcome you here. This will remain a city of hope and opportunity for everyone, not just in Cape Town, but around the country and the world.
And he takes the tape.
Cape Town is open, safe and ready to host you.
Well, back we are for the men's over 50 final between the Netherlands and Germany, and at the resumption of play. The opening quarter, just one goal to separate these teams. Goal by Daendam for the Netherlands, proving to be the difference thus far.
The Hunks goes down the left-hand side, can't find Ketzer there on that pass. Well, he finds him, but it's struck hard into his zone, and just there's an unforced error as the counter-attack comes through. Kreitkopf.
Under pressure at the back are Germany, but they managed to work their way out of that situation. Good ball, good transfer, and it falls kindly now for Aimer. Through the middle, though dispossessed, and winning the free hit for the Netherlands is Van Hekkersen.
So Van Hekkersen now plays it to Groeneveld, who tries to go over the top. Nolte threads it through to Remmers. Remmers on the run, looking for support. Has Nolte on the outside, lovely little flip into space. Manipulates the space at the top of the D, but the shot has just no power in it.
It's good to see Nolte back on the field, head strapped up early on in the game. In the first quarter, took a bit of a glancing blow to the head and had a bit of blood pouring. It was, dare I say, pouring. It wasn't even that much. It was a bit of blood, shall we say, leaking from the top of his left ear. So he got patched up pretty quickly, and good to see him back on the field.
So Hengst on the inside run. The Germans try to set up a pocket. He gets out of that. Gets it through to Wassenberg, who just gets nudged in the back and wins the Dutch a hit in the midfield. Stich will get proceedings underway. He just nudged it back with the foot to Groeneveld. Groeneveld plays to Van Hekkersen, who tries to thread through and tries to find Kreitkopf. So Kreitkopf putting the press up there high for the Dutch. Daendam, whoever the predator up high, looking to spoil good quality ball. Ket can't gather. Nolte on the run, has support out on the left-hand side. Marquardson will carry. The Stich just getting there, parrying on the outside, inside line. Holds up play nicely for the Dutch, and now the big run. The German number 47, Heitbrink, on an inside run, but they lose the ball. Got quite a good turn of pace.
No, that burst of pace just came out of absolutely nowhere for Heidbrink. Just nonchalantly had the ball and then decided, right, I'm going to have a full-on go here. It was a good run across the face, although he was well marshaled by the Netherlands, who go back to the traditional way of just ensuring that they maintain possession as Hengst. Now rolls it down to Ket. Infield, Kreuthoff. Nobody up front for Kreuthoff, so holding it up. Back he comes to Hengst. Neat little roll into midfield for Steeg. Is in there for the Netherlands, but once again, just identifying there's no forward pass available, no player available for the ball. So hold it up, carry the ball back, allow them to re-lead.
Steeg does well because he was under tremendous pressure from that German midfield. Two players trying to create a pocket on him. The cross comes in, easily dealt with by the Germans, who now will break out. They just don't have anyone high to collect from a pass down the line. On Heck Zenu loses the ball. And the tackle comes in. Scrambled defense by Groeneveld. So some dangerous times now for the Dutch. Haas tries to create something with Radloff. Just lose the ball down the left-hand side. Merkins' ball's intercepted.
Massive overhead.
Huge overhead.
I don't think we've seen that sort of distance against this little wind as well. So Heidbrink showing that not only does he have a good turn of pace, but he's got a nifty little overhead on him as well, as Nolte smashes it across, losing his footing in the circle. Still there for Germany, although good save from Sabring, and Versteeg able to run away with it as he tries to commit some German numbers. Can't get through them, so it is Markwoodson. Big tackle from Ket on Markwoodson, taken quickly by Germany. Perhaps a little bit too quickly. Not reacting quick enough are the strikers in the circle.
So Zuluf Hennersdorf gets the ball in some good space there. He just needed a little bit more composure. Find a stick of a white shirt. All that hard work comes to nothing for Germany. Groeneveld plays it out to Van Hekkerzen. Zen with Daendam, who've fallen over. He gets up a little gingerly. I don't know if he's upset with missing the ball or that he's actually injured. The restart from the Germans. The drive from Kloener. Little touch comes in from Nolte. Now, Kreikhoff just gets it to Ket. Ket goes over the top, tries to change the point of attack. Now it's won by the Germans. Daendam does some good work just to slow down the German advance. Nolte on the inside. Good little run from him. Bremmers isolated on the byline. Back to Kloener. Kloener on the brilliant cross hit.
What a save! Sabring!
Closing down those angles and making an acrobatic save with his glove. Daendam again flies in, ball gets thread through, but it's dangerous and high. So pressure is off for Netherlands as they regroup. Groeneveld to gets it out to Van Hekkerzen. Groeneveld again. Elians down the right-hand side. Is happy to retain possession, find a foot. Van Hekkerzen to Hengst. Hengst goes on the inside run. Looks for his Veenstra. Clonner to Nolta. Nolta loves a little inside pull. Looks for his wide runners. Ooh, is there going to be a corner?
Contact.
Yes! Well, it was Elians who just came in on that 45 degree. He might just have held maybe, not gone for the interception, but once he had committed, he realized that he was going to overcommit. And he's just a little bit too clumsy in that and concedes a short corner.
It's just one of those situations where you try to go for the interception and you mistime it by that split second, and your momentum takes you into the attacker. So a chance for Germany. Goes to the right-hand side, little zig without the zag. Sabering again, comes up, makes the stick save. Still there for Germany though. To the right-hand side, but Hengst coming back, working hard from the halfway line, gets his stick on the end of it.
That was a proper save because there were German players queuing up on the left-hand side. Sabering got a vital stick touch to that. It was a well-worked corner and there was plenty of space for 3 Germans on the left-hand side just to sweep the ball into an empty net. Sabering doing well again. He's quick to make decisions. And he makes the right ones.
The raise ball from Versteeg just outside of the circle. Germany with the momentum now. A little bit of a good spell of possession for them. Taken quickly by Brennecke. He now gets into the circle. Better space for Brennecke to work. Spins. But a solid challenge from Versteeg once again. Who's been very, very lively for the Dutch side. Down the line. Nolte in a bit of space for him to work. Sends it across. No advantage. Comes off the foot of Van Hekkerzen, so it will be a short corner again to Germany.
So a good period of play now for Germany. Just put a lot of pressure up high and they've got some reward for it. The Dutch goalkeeper, Sebring, who has been outstanding with 2 vital saves. So the injection going to come from Germany. I think it's Marquardson on the drag flick, another good save. And Versteeg just gets the touch. So the initial save came in, but it was bobbling around a bit for someone to pounce on that rebound, and Versteeg just gets a vital stick on that.
Tell you one thing, Mario, thus far in this game, Erik Sabering has certainly earned himself not only one cold one, but probably a case at this point in time with the amount of saves and brilliant saves that he's been making. It's not like it's been shot straight at him that he can just easily get rid of. It's been reflex save after reflex save, and that stick side of him is proving to be very, very vital to keeping Germany at bay.
So Skopper, who just loses the ball in those wide areas as Daendam comes back and does some vital defense for the Netherlands. Elians on the ball. Familiar platform of Van Hekkerzen, playing it to Groeneveld. They've got Knook out left to supply that beautiful overhead to help the Netherlands score their first goal. Daendam now on the mazy run on the inside. Well checked by Mikkelman.
The Dutch having to absorb a bit of pressure from the Germans for a few minutes. Get themselves back onto the ball, and here we say needlessly just giving it away. although it's good work in midfield to win back possession. Dutch are obviously very dangerous when they start moving the ball, keeping those passes nice and short, crisp, finding the stick of a teammate, although they do spill it now, but good work by Groenewald just to settle things down a little bit. Gets it going quickly though for Versteeg. Big ball forward, looking for Captain Maas. Good take by him. Big ball across and intervention made by Schopper for Germany. And that's good to see Maas back on the field, because when he is there, there's always something happening for the Dutch up front.
Wassenberg just lurking on that far post for the tip in. Maas just can't find him, and here's the overlap, and the shot comes in. Oh, and it just flashes across. It was Merkens who got himself into good space, gets himself into the D, and a brilliant shot across, but it gets a little German touch. It's Wierstra on the ball now. Won by Germany into the midfield. Lots of pressure on Amar. Amar looks to come out and go wide, trying to find Heitbrink. Haas now carries. He's got Heitbrink on the outside, who we know has got a bit of a turn of pace when he does get the ball.
It's brilliant work again from Versteeg. He's just been that link just ahead of the defensive players, who just picks up whatever scraps come through and makes sure he gets his tackles in. He's kind of that bridge between the defensive line and the link line.
He's such a calming effect because he's been under tremendous pressure and he doesn't panic. So the ball in. Nook. Will he go long? 45-degree ball in. That's a little touch from Wassenberg. More pressure in Germany. So nice little overhead into space. Picked up by Zuluf Hennersdorf, who looks for support. Gets it through Eimer. Eimer just loses it, and again, Versteeg just wins ball for Netherlands. Keep ball. Fortunately, they lose it again. Haas. Heitbrink. Can't find support of his own. Van Hekkezen comes out. Ooh, looking for Maas up high. Good interception there from the German Brenneker, who steps in well to stop that attack. It's Meerkens on the wide right-hand side area. Just loses it, and Germany now come back in another wave of attack and keep it alive through Haas.
What a passion of play that was, Murray. Both sides attacking, both sides turning ball over numerous occasions, and it's just non-stop from either of these teams, making it clear that they want to get forward and play the ball in opposition territory.
So, ball thrown down the left-hand touchline for Germany, who eventually win it. Go for the crash ball, looking for something in these dying seconds of this second quarter. They win themselves a long corner, but the Hooter is going to beat them.
So indeed, Murray, the Hooter does beat them. So we've reached halftime in this men's over 50 final. And at the break, the Dutch, who took the lead in the first quarter, will head into the break with that slender 1-0 lead over Germany. We'll have a short break, but do not go anywhere, because when we return, more of this pulsating final awaits.
At thehockeysite.com, it's about what happens in the locker room, thinking about the game. It's about planning and preparation, and about training and improving those skills, looking at it from different angles. But of course, it's also about teaching them to score and win. Thehockeysite.com. Share the knowledge.
So we're about to start the second half for the third quarter of this World Cup final in the men's over 50s. It's Netherlands 1, Germany 0. The goal coming from Martin Deindam. Beautiful overhead from Balthazar Knook, who played it down to the captain Anton Maas, who picked it up. And Anton Maas is normally the taker, but he became the maker as he played the ball across the D to find Deindam, who's been a bit of a handful up front. So Eric Sabering has also been amazing in the Dutch goal. So the Germans have had a few chances, but Sabering has just been outstanding in goal for the Dutch and keeping the German attack at bay. Still, it's anyone's game.
Nolte getting on the end of that overhead as he once again seems like he has had some more repairs in halftime. The second quarter he had a white band and now it's turned to blue. But what we have seen is really enterprising hockey between both of these sides. Both of them taking the attack to the opposition. It's been a tough old contest in midfield. Versteeg has been brilliant for the Dutch, just bringing up a bit of a calm head in midfield. But then for Germany, Haas, pretty busy in midfield. Put ball forward now. It's the Dutch captain, Maas, on the ball. Spins, has a shot. Still there for Deindam. Advantage given. And time called as Deindam takes a bit of a tumble at the top of the circle. Although I do feel that time was called more for the umpire being unsighted and trying to get a ruling from his teammate on the far side.
Deindam goes in on that tomahawk shot. Just seemed like he jammed his shoulder a bit. His stick almost got stuck in the turf. He got into an awkward position and fell over, but he looks all right now. It's going to be a bully restart, and again, Mars sportingly gives the ball back to Germany. It's Eimer. Eimer just pops into space and just can't continue his run. Fielded here by the Dutch in the midfield. Nolte wins possession for Germany. The Dutch win it by putting it onto Nolte's foot.
No guesses which game comes up next, Mari, as the Argentinian ladies who will contest the over 45 final in a little bit have made their way into the stadium.
Well, the over 50s have just got themselves a silver medal. Can the over 45s do one better?
And it's a classic case of the over 50 final of the women's division being contested between England and Argentina. And we will have the same fixture, the same teams contesting the women's 45 final just a little bit later on.
So brilliant atmosphere here for this final day of the World Cup Masters. Stadium is starting to fill up. And so is the beer tent on the opposite side of the field as players finish their World Cup and decide to finally relax and enjoy the hockey.
So back to the action with Germany having the ball deep in the 23. Just Deindam and Maas up there for the Netherlands as they try to turn the ball over, but good little triangle from Germany working their way out, although loose ball picked up by Hengst, but he does give possession away. Big overhead from Aymar. Huge bounce as well, and it will go the way of Netherlands, but Aymar's got a massive overhead.
The ball almost accelerates off the turf as it hits the deck. Difficult to sort in the ladies' game, any of those overheads into that D. It seems to just take off as it hits the deck. Often very difficult to sort of field that.
Big bull upfield. Deindam gets ahead of the defender. Good lead from him, and fortunately his little pull to the outside just gets away from him. So coming away with it are Germany. Big ball forward from Brennecke. Claimed by Versteeg, but the ball pops loose in midfield, and Germany able to come away with it. On the left-hand side for them. Heidbrink decides to go back to the middle. Space on the right for Marketson. Goes for the ball through the middle. Easily picked off, and here comes Deindam. He's got Captain Maas with him in the circle. Deindam carries it around the byline. There's a shot on Deindam. Agonizingly close. Good work from Wenzel in the German goal to come out and nullify that one from Deindam.
So a good run from him. He almost lopes around the outside and then just builds up a head of steam. He's got quite a little turn of pace, quite deceptive. I just thought maybe he got a little nudge in the back and there could have been a short corner call.
Now it's still there for the Netherlands as the Captain Maas tries to get the ball across, but dealt with by Germany. Can they break away at pace? No real numbers up there for them. And Nolte will just settle things down a little bit before now, with one of the strikers making a good lead. Cut out though by Groenewald for the Netherlands. So they'll pop the ball off to the right-hand side. Merkens looks for options. Goes for the big ball. Veerstra picks it up. As the German defender loses his stick. Veerstra carries it. Goes for the little ding. That's Veerstra! And just about misses the far post. But what a break that was. Kind of fortunate that Haas lost his stick in that play. But Veerstra latching onto the opportunity. Gets the ball past the goalkeeper. And just misses the target. Goes agonizingly wide.
see Mars actually wanted to cross there. He didn't want Veerstra to shoot himself. He was looking for that cross. A little bit frustrated after that ball went past the far post. So it's Mukkelman now on the drive on the reverse stick side for Germans. And Mark Watson now with the go forward ball. Cross comes in. Oh, that... Wow.
I think it took Muller by surprise that it got all the way to him. Just his reaction. I don't think he expected the ball to pop off the Dutch defender's stick on the little glance.
That was a very tricky ball to deal with for the Dutch defense. And as you say, Muller in a perfect position just for the little tip in.
Deindam coming back to help out in midfield. Good ball forward, nice little touch for Veerstra. This time gets it across to the captain, Maas. First touch on this occasion lets him down, but he's still got it in possession. Well marshaled though by Germany. Maas remaining in possession. Nobody there for the Netherlands. As Versteeg and Nalty have got a good little tussle going in midfield. Hengst though picks up the loose ball. Deindam now again down the left-hand side. He loves these little runs, does Deindam. But his attempted pass across cut out by Mukkelman. And Germany under pressure inside the 23. Big ball forward by Nalty. Relieving the pressure anywhere but our 23 will do for Germany, says Nalty.
So 9.5 minutes left in this third quarter. The goal from Deindam separates these two great teams. Versteeg now down the left-hand side. Gets himself a little bit isolated, and Mark Watson is just shepherding down to that far corner. Lots of work being done. Walter also in there on the flat tackle. He wins possession for the Dutch. So Wassenberg looking for options.
Groenteman sends it on the far side, looking for that run from Elians. Not really read, but in saying that, there's good alignment from the German side on defense to ensure that the long transfer is not on. In space is high, at least is Mark Watson. Good ball on the right-hand side, picked up by Walter. He's got some space. Ups to hand it off to Remmers. Marshaled by Hengst, but Remmers still in possession. Goes back for Walter. And his first time pass infield falls kindly for Groenewald, who now sends the long ball. And here's your man, Mari Deindam, looking
so
for...
Deindam just happy to carry, looking for Maas. Just can't get accuracy on that pass. His midfielders are saying to him, why don't you just hold it up and we'll come from behind them. Meerkens just having a word with Deindam and saying, listen, hold it up. You don't have to go forward every time. But that's the nature of a striker. Most strikers want to go forward. They want to score goals.
Nice little touch from Deindam to Veerstra. Good peeling away by Maas, but cut out by Haas as he now sends it for Heitbrink to go on a bit of a run down the right-hand side for Germany. Attempted tackle into the circle comes Germany. The little swipe from the striker, misses the ball and gives possession back to the Dutch as they come through for Veerstra, sends the ball forward to Maas. This is where he loves to work from. One-on-one situations. Kruithof makes the lead. Coming straight off the bench and straight into the circle. Kruithof, big ball. And it seemed as though it came off the stick of Mukkelman. Although the umpire is saying that was straight up from Merkens.
Oh, I think it definitely came off a German stick, but the blow's gone the way of Germany. And Brenneker even has a little laugh about it. Diagonal overhead. Good space on the right-hand side for the Germans to attack. Kett with a great little take there. Great little tackle on the inside. Skorpa had come on the inside and Kett had just held his angle so well to win ball back for Holland.
Just seems as though it's a bit frenetic for Germany on defense. Starved of ball in this quarter, Germany. So they're having to feed off whatever scraps they can get from the Netherlands, who are starting to boss the game.
The game has opened up a bit, but you just find the Netherlands have just gone for those, it's almost like the glory pass rather than the 100% pass in the critical areas of the field. Lovely little touch there. The big stick comes in from Volta. Now the cross. Looking for Maas. Maas for the first touch. He says it didn't touch his foot as he tried to regather. Umpire says, I think it did. Now it's Dutch ball.
As every striker feels, Mario, the ball never touches their feet, especially in the circle.
The Maas still having a word in the umpire's ear there. So, Brenneker. Under pressure from Krajkov. Brenneker running out of options here and just smashes the 45 over the... And that's an ominous sign, a telling sign that they're just running out of options, running out of runners, people to control the ball in the midfield, just resorting to almost the hit and hope.
Around the back it goes for the Netherlands. Quick change of angle. Hengst looks for options, rolls it into midfield to Kett. Good take from Kett. And a nice little roll to get away from the defenders. Although Wassenberg, unfortunately, can't keep control of it. Good tussle again as Hengst gets his stick in just to disrupt play a bit for Germany. Big overhead from Aymar. Looking for the outside, Mukelman. Good take from him. Goes the cross. Beveren again pops up when his team needs him to.
Well, if that had gone through, that was the tip-in goal for Germany. Sabering did very, very well. Aymar through the middle. And now it's Nolter. Finds Heitbrink. Germans just delaying that attack. I mean, the Dutch delaying that attack so well. Filling up those middle areas, that congesting that area. And there induces the error from Brenneker.
And that's what you were speaking about earlier, Marius. Germany are just forcing passes that are not there. And when they do that, they lose possession and they just find themselves again under pressure from this orange wave that just keeps coming and has got no let up at the moment. Big run forward by Krojtov as Kett tries to get the ball through to him. It is disrupted though by the captain Kloner for the Germany as they now come down the right hand side. Aymar giving up the chase. And again, the German side, when they do turn over possession, they just give it back immediately after one or two passes.
They seem to be tiring here now, and relying on sort of individual flair rather than team play. Getting a little isolated again in the midfield. Good work by the Dutch. Ball goes wide to Radloff. Pass, he just plays it into Nolte, who looks in behind. Good little ball in behind the defense. And that's better by Germany as they put a couple of passes together, work some triangles, With a minute and a half now, they need to just get themselves a corner, get themselves a shot in at goal, get themselves on an even keel here. Good little possession to be in the turn. Jim is looking for a corner there. Umpire says no, it came off the stick. Going to be a long corner.
So 60 seconds it is that remains in the third quarter. Still a single goal separating the sides. It's Rudloff. Looks for his options. Smashes it in. Hengst there though for the Netherlands as Maas asks for the ball and he gets it. Veerstra's on the far side. Perhaps asking a bit too much of Veerstra is the captain Maas.
So Rudloff can't find a striker. Veerstra will just play it out wide. They just look to keep possession and run down the clock with 15 seconds to go. They do look long, looking for Maas. So at the end of the third quarter, in the over-50s World Cup final, it's still the goal from Martin Deindam that separates these two sides. It's 1 to the Netherlands and 0 to Germany. Join us after the break for the fourth quarter of this men's over-50 final.
And it is just a single goal that separates the Netherlands and Germany. So as it stands, the gold medal will be going to Holland and the silver medal to Germany, although we still have a full quarter and anything, as we know in a game of hockey, anything can happen.
So good turn from Marquardson. He's closed down for space. Ooh, and they just can't get that ball back to him. And Brenneker keeps it alive. Remmers struggles to retrieve.
Here's the niggle. Yeah, it starts coming. As the crowd also gets involved, you just feel as though something is going to happen.
And Groenteman apologizes for the follow-through that came through there. Ball won there by Versteeg, who does very well that physical encounter at the top of the D, and he comes out of there looking for support, finds Daindam, now just holds the ball up. Will look to play to Viestra. Well, the support is slow from the midfield. Daindam again, just holding it up. Little ball played into Viestra, a little nudge again, and Wenzel just boots it out over the sideline. So Versteeg looking for Daindam, who wins it. Looking for the cross now. Oh, and it just gets a little Brenneke stick. And now the Dutch with another wave of attack. Meerkens can't gather on the second attempt. So Rudloff. Haas. Brenneke.
Nolte in possession for Germany, and just seems as though, Murray, you mentioned it in the third quarter, it seemed as though that almost that the Germans have gone flat a little bit. It seems as though that they are getting tired, and that's probably as a result of the Netherlands side holding on to possession and forcing the Germans to run a bit more. Although chance now for Nolte on the far side, and again, just not expecting it, is more on the far post. Although it does take a touch off a German's, or at least off a Dutch stick.
Well, the Germans can hurt you at any time. They've just shown that now. Can subdue you into feeling that you sort of got the ascendancy, and they just come back so quickly. And they've had a couple of chances that have flashed across that goal 9-yard area. The ball gets played in again. Holland under pressure now. And they win themselves a penalty corner through Schopper. Finds himself in a nice high area and gets in behind onto the byline and gets a penalty corner for the Germans. So, are there going to be a few twists in the tail here with 13 minutes to go? It's Aymar on the top and Heitbrink on the other. Aymar with the drag, saved. They look for the rebound. Did it come off a stick? Oh, co-umpire sees an infringement and blows.
Aymar laying flat on his back inside the circle, playing the ball, and co-umpire saying that is against the laws. Again, another save from Erik Sabring. Dare I say it? It's too early to call. Man of the match performance.
Viestra with a beautiful little pass through to Hengst. Just moving left and pushing it in behind the advancing German midfield. I do agree with you. Sabring has been outstanding today. The Dutch have been dominant, but he's just kept them in. Whenever the Germans have thrown something at him, he's been up to the task. So, Brenneke to Haas, into Nolte, Rudloff. Netherlands happy to just sit a little deeper now. Just make the Germans do more of the playing, and they're just holding their lines. They're not extending too much. Just hold, step in the line, win ball, but Ketch can't retain possession for them. So Marquardson trying to force his way through. Daindam wins the hit.
Viestra looks, try and get Maas into a bit of space, but he opts to get it to Ket on the right-hand side. Back it goes to Viestra. Germans coming in, trying to pressure on the ball carrier. Hengst on the left-hand side. First time touch for Daindam, who's got some space to work with. Nice little inside tuck. Can he turn provider for his captain? Exchange the favor that was given to him for that first goal. Kept out though by the Germans, and space for their captain Kloner on the right-hand side. The game is certainly now opened up. Overhead, looking for the run of Zulov Hennersdorf, but cut out beautifully by Van Hekkesen. So he gives the ball straight back to Germany, and Germany will now come down the right-hand side. Corner with Amar. Amar looks to take on Van Hekkesen. Free hit to Germany, taken quickly again by Kloner. Up in the tempo now are Germany. And Amar unable to get a good enough stick onto it.
A good pressure of play, good period of play for the Germans. The Dutch just happy to keep possession down that left-hand side through Hengst. He just runs it up there and just waits for a German stick to prod it over the sideline. Couple of precious seconds lost to Germany. Little touch and the Dutch are in behind. Looking for that final pass. Mess just can't thread it through to Mars. So, the aerial ball to Mukkelman. Mukkelman just can't gather and get the pass away. Comes away through Meerkens. Meerkens look to the space in behind. Now it's a 50-50 ball. And Harsh just runs it into touch. So, Groenteman with the restart. Van Hekkesen.
Big ball forward from Groenewald. Gets through every single player in front of him. Goes over the baseline. But the one thing that we've definitely have noticed, Murray, in this final quarter is that the Dutch have gone half court. They seem to be happy with the 1-0 lead, and they're trusting their defensive systems to keep them ahead in this game.
So a nice little run by Klus, and he wins Germany a corner. He picks it up on his right-hand side and goes with a one hand around on the arc. It's Germany a penalty corner. They're quite right. They have dropped back quite considerably, and a couple of tired bodies out there. There's been a long 10 days. So, Heitbrink at the top of the D, plays it for the zigzag, gets it back again, good save. Oh! And Zulov Hennersdorf, with an open goal begging, has lost his footing.
That was the chance for Germany. Small margins, Murray, small margins.
Well, that's the warning shot to the Dutch to actually start sorting themselves out on defense, get the energy levels up. They've been a bit lackluster in the last 3 or 4 minutes. But Versteeg comes back at them. Good to Meerkens with it. Oh, what a good cross. And Maas just can't get a touch on that.
From one end to the other.
Well, that Zulov Hennersdorf chance was, wow. I'm still a bit shocked.
Good work by Mess, coming back for the Dutch. Meerkens finds Captain Maas. He's isolated, he's got 5 Germans in front of him. So Maas happy to hold the ball up and get his support players in. And the pressure's Hengst. Still manages to keep possession of the ball. It's Groenewald now. Goes for the big pass, looking for Deindam. But perhaps a little bit too narrow, that pass. So Deindam cannot get there with the arcing run that he had. But definitely this game has opened up. And as we enter the final 6 minutes of the game, anything can still happen. It's not a foregone conclusion just yet. Meerkens goes on a run. But what a tackle from Nolte. Brilliant work. The Germany got to keep this pressure up now. To the right-hand side. Good take an arc from Remmers. Takes the tackle as Remmers. Has it going quickly. Across the face to Aymar. And what a massive collision that is at the top of the circle. Oh boy.
Well, this is when you need VAR. I'd love to see the replay of that. I think the Dutch defender came in late on that. They're all shaking hands, and
that's good to see.
Aymer's fine.
I think Aymar probably got the brunt of it because he landed on top of the ball. So he's back. Certainly got most of it.
Groenteman's back up. And the benefit of the doubt goes to the Dutch. Van Hekkezen with the reverse stick hit out of defense. Nolte Marquardson finds the foot. Looking for that ball to Skoppa. Coming up to the final 5 minutes in this World Cup final. The over 50s. So, Volta. Skoppa finds some space. Top of the D, comes under the shoulder. Did it hit it? Oh, looked like the umpire was going to give a corner. He says, no, that foot was just on the outside of the circle. So Marquardson carries. Daindam on the slide, reverse stick tackle. Brave to come in there from that side. The follow through can really so easily stick and hit you in the face. So brave defense from Daindam. This is a final. You do these kinds of things. Played over the top. Just comes off Skoppa's stick, and Dutch will restart with Meerkens. Meerkens goes high. Looks for Maas. Can't find him. Defended now. Mopped up in the midfield.
Versteeg rolls it out to Wierstra. This is all playing into the Dutch hands as it comes off the foot of Skoppa, just inside the circle. And short corner is to the Netherlands. And Murray, it's 3.5 minutes to go in this game, and I think that is the very first short corner that the Netherlands have won in this game.
Yep, and just at the right time to slow things down. They just slowed things down and played from stick to stick. We say it so many times at every level. Hold the ball, position, play the front stick, sustain pressure, find the foot, get the corner. So it's Meerkens at the top. They go for the straight hit, save. Daindam, oh sorry, not Daindam, it's Van Hekkezen who comes in to win that 50-50 ball for the Netherlands. Versteeg to Ket. Played wide again into the challenging area. Comes across, hits the foot, and penalty corner. Meerkens gets himself into a good position on the byline and smashes it across the D.
Eats away at the clock as the Netherlands try to perhaps deal that sucker punch.
You can just see Aymer going high, looking for that counter-attack. In case the Germans win it, they've got men high up the field. Here it comes again to the injector. Short corner awarded. German. Brenneker saying, what for?
I also want to know what for.
Hengst fell over. as the injector came in for the, almost like the slider almost.
Yeah.
And the real award is given.
So a minute and a half. The Dutch up by a solitary goal, and they've got a chance to double that lead. It's there for Steeg. Look for the deflection, and it is in from Deindam. The little deflection from the left side of the P spot finds its mark. And with around a minute to go in this final, the Netherlands surely now have got a firmer grasp on that trophy.
Well, Deindam would have scored better sliders than that, but it was almost a little chip over. But he was there and he got his stick in it and it just looped over the goalkeeper, Wenzel. So 2 goals for Deindam in this final. One from open play on the far post, and now the slider from a penalty corner. And 30 seconds left. Mark Whitson takes it to the left-hand side. Plays it into the D. And the Dutch will just run it out of here. The Steeg, who's been the most composed player on the field today. Runs it to the left-hand touchline. Gets in behind Volta.
The countdown begins in the crowd. Steeg wins the free hitches outside, but that matters little. It is arms aloft for the men in orange. Your world champions in the men's over 50 division at the Masters World Cup is the Netherlands.
Well, 2 fantastic goals from Martin Deindam and an absolutely magnificent performance by Eric Sabring in goals for the Dutch. They really were the better side today, but spare a thought for Germany, who came back strongly in that 4th quarter and had that opportunity through Zulaf Hennersdorf to equalize. And if that goal had gone in for Germany, well, would have been a much different finish to this game. But the Dutch have played this game tactically very well and got some magnificent players in the side who've controlled the midfield. They worked at a good platform from the back, and they've got an incredible strike partnership up in the form of Deindam and Maas, who surprisingly Maas didn't score today. So the Dutch are world champions, and both sides now shake hands after what has been a long 10 days. Such relief on both players' faces.
And it's the first time that the Dutch are able to get one over the Germans in a men's over 50 division final. So there's probably a little bit extra in those smiles, in those celebrations. But what a spectacle of a final has been. The Germans can certainly hold their heads up high. Yes, the scoreline says that the Netherlands have claimed the game 2-0. But it could have been so much different, as you mentioned, Murray. Could that chance have gone in for Zulaf Hennersdorf? Could have gone in. Could have been a different outcome, although if we look at the tournament as a whole, the Dutch will finish with 2 of the high strikers in terms of goals scored in their side. So they've been prolific throughout. And perhaps once that field, if you look at the balance of play from the pool stage into this final, a deserved title of world champions for the Netherlands.
2 even sides, but as I said to you earlier in the game, it was going to either be Deindam or Maas who could turn this game on its head, and well, it was Deindam that is the hero for the Netherlands with 2 fine goals. So we go down to the pitch for the medal presentations.
It'll be the German captain, Martin Kloner, will lead his side to receive their silver medals, and the medals are being presented to them. Medals being presented to the German players by Dion Morgan, the president of South African hockey. What a final we had, what a spectacle we've had. How competitive was the men's over 50 division throughout this past 10 days. And I'm sure that the festivities will certainly not end once the medals are around the neck. I'm sure the festivities will carry on way into the early hours of the morning. The crowd and the Netherlands players put their hands together for the German players. They receive their silver medals. Chance now for the South African Hockey Association President Dion Morgan to hand the gold medals around the necks of the German players, led by their captain Anton Maas. And it's been a fantastic performance from the Germans and the Dutch players, as we mentioned during the game, that they will finish the tournament with two of the highest goal scorers. And their captain, if ever you want a man to lead from the front as a captain, Anton Maas personifies that. He finishes the tournament with 17 goals to his name. That's 17 goals in a 10-day competition. That is absolutely phenomenal effort from Anton Maas. As Versteeg gets his medal, so does Kruithof. Versteeg had a brilliant game. Showed composure, although high man of the match in this one went to the Dutch goalkeeper, Erik Seibring, who pulled off fantastic saves. And there's now time for Dion Morgan, the SAHA president, to hand the trophy over to Anton Maas of the Netherlands. So the men's champions in the over 50 division is the Netherlands. Gold medals and the trophy draped in orange, much to the appreciation of everybody on the side of the field. So that is the way it'll end out here in the men's over 50 division. The champions are the Netherlands.
We are fascinated by the mindsets and the habits that make individuals and teams perform at another level. Let us be your thought partners and transformational coaches. Are you part of a team and you are wanting to gain insight into what ingredients need to be in the mix to take your team to a whole new level of performance? Partner with us. We want to be your transformational coaches.